Bonjour et bienvenue dans cette nouvelle leçon sur Imparfait. Alors, cette vidéo est une continuation de la vidéo que j'ai faite la semaine dernière sur la formation et l'utilisation de l'imparfait. Dans cette vidéo-là, dans cette leçon-là aujourd'hui, on va aller un peu plus loin et on va voir comment on peut utiliser imparfait dans un dialogue. Donc, par le biais d'un dialogue, je vais vous expliquer l'utilisation de l'imparfait dans des phrases très utiles. Hello and welcome. This video is about imparfait again, and it is a continuation of the video that I did last. I'll give the link in the description box. I did it last week, and that video focused on how you form, how you conjugate imparfait, and in what all situations you use imparfait. Now, this, as I always say, that I believe in learning with context. While I gave examples in the last video, we will go through an entire dialogue with a very relevant storyline, which will give you a lot of sentences to use in day-to-day life, and it will also tell you how imparfait is used in all what situations. All right, so without wasting any further time, let's begin. So we are going through a text, we are going through a dialogue to understand the utilization of imparfait. Alors, on commence. First of all, I'll be explaining all the sentences to you, and then we'll read the entire dialogue together for pronunciation and reading practice. All right? Okay. I suggest that you should have a pen and paper with you so that you can note down all the new words and phrases that you come across. Alors, on commence. Dialogue pour la grammaire, l'imparfait. Donc, c'est un dialogue entre une écrivaine et un journaliste. Donc, c'est une interview. Journaliste. Quel genre d'enfant étiez-vous? Quel genre d'enfant étiez-vous? Now, if you watched my last video on imparfait, I have mentioned that imparfait is used to talk about memories of childhood or talk about the past times, the memories. So, what is the journalist asking here? Journalist is asking, what kind of child were you? So, what is imparfait here? Which verb is there? Étiez, which is imparfait of the verb être. Genre simply means type, or what kind, what sort of, what type of. Quel genre d'enfant étiez-vous? What kind of a child were you? Donc, l'écrivain dit « J'étais très calme et très curieuse. J'étais très calme et très curieuse. I was very calm and curious. Now, what is imparfait here? Était, again, être. Journaliste dit « Comment passiez-vous votre temps libre? How you used to pass your time, what you used to do for as leisure activity or to pass your time, what were your hobbies? Alors, écrivaine, enfant, that means when I was a child, a baby or not a kid, je sortais peu de chez moi. Sortait is again comes from the verb sortir, conjugated in imparfait. Je sortais peu de chez moi. I used to step out little bit. Or little, not little bit, little. So what he's trying to say is that I didn't used to go out much. So I used to go out less or little bit. Sortir is to go out. Je jouais avec mes frères et sœurs. Jouer comes from the ER ending verb jouer, Jouer, conjugated in imparfait, which means I used to play with my brothers and sisters. Et nous passions les mercredis et les dimanches tranquillement en famille. And we used to spend, passer, We used to spend the Wednesdays and Sundays quietly with family, en famille. Nous passions les mercredis et les dimanches tranquillement en famille. Parfois, on allait au cinéma en famille, mais c'était très rare. Parfois is sometimes. We used to go, I hope you know at a B1 level that on is also used for we in spoken French most of the times. So what is he saying? She's saying, we used to go to cinema, we used to go for movies with family, but that was like very rare, not very often. Okay. Journaliste, vous n'aviez pas d'amis? This is which verb? No, this is avoir. Vous n'aviez pas d'amis? Didn't you have friends? See, I need you to understand one thing is that uh, imparfait is past continuous, I know. But when you translate certain dialogues and sentences to English, it doesn't, you know, uh, it doesn't always get translated the same way it sounds in French. Okay, so literal translation is not possible all the time. You have to adapt to the language that you're translating to. Okay, because I said here, didn't you have friends? So that sounds more correct in English, but here it's past continuous tense that we've used in French. Écrivaine. Si, bien sûr. Let me emphasize a little bit on the small word si. It is used to respond to questions where somebody has asked you something, but you are responding, you want to say no. For example, what is he saying? What is the journalist saying? Didn't you have friends? So she want to say no, I had. So she is saying something which is contrary to the statement made by the journalist. So that's in those situations when you want to respond with a no in English, so you use C when your answer is opposite of what the other person is expecting. See, bien sûr. So the journalist said, didn't you have friends? I said, no, 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 I did have friends. Si, bien sûr. J'avais des camarades de classe. I had my classmates. Mais ils ne venaient jamais à la maison. Venir comes from the verb venir, ir ending, to come. But they never used to come to our place. They never used to come home. Vous pratiquiez un sport? So were you into some sports? Pratiquer is to practice. So you used to practice a sport? Je faisais de l'équitation. Je faisais de l'équitation. Okay, so what does she say? Je faisais de l'équitation tous les mercredis après-midi. Équitation is horse riding. So what is she saying? That I used to ride a horse. So I used to do horse riding tous les mercredis. When we frame in this structure, when you use tous les and we put some number of name of the day, that means every. So here every Wednesday. Tous les mercredis après-midi. So all the Wednesday afternoons, I used to go for a horse riding. J'adorais ça. I used to love it. Adorer is to adore, to love. Jouiez-vous un instrument? Jouiez-vous un instrument? You used to play an instrument. Jouer, it comes from jouer, to play. Oui, je jouais du violon. D'ailleurs, mes parents aussi jouaient du violon. Now, so she's saying, yes, I used to play a violin. And by the way, or moreover, here by the way suits more, my parents also used to play piano. Why am I saying piano? Violin. Où passiez-vous vos vacances? Where you used to spend your vacations? Où passiez-vous vos vacances? Alors, chaque année, mes parents nous emmenaient. Emmener comes from the ER ending verb, EMMENER, emmener, to accompany someone somewhere. So, take someone somewhere. Emmener en Bretagne, près de Saint-Malo. Alors, oh, well, every year, my parents used to take us in Bretagne, near Saint-Malo, must be a place. Mon oncle avait une maison secondaire. My uncle had a vacation home or a secondary house. I'd like to say vacation home. Là-bas is over there. J'adorais cet endroit. I used to adore that place. On pouvait aller à la mer tous les jours. We could go to the sea all the days, every day. On pouvait. Pouvait comes from the verb pouvoir, to can. Okay, now I'll read the entire dialogue together so that you see it in its totality. Quel genre d'enfant étiez-vous? J'étais très calme et très curieuse. Comment passiez-vous votre temps libre? Enfant, je sortais peu de chez moi, je jouais avec mes frères et sœurs et nous passions les mercredis et les dimanches tranquillement en famille. Parfois, on est allé au cinéma en famille, mais c'était très rare. Vous n'aviez pas d'amis? Si, bien sûr. J'avais des camarades de classe, mais ils ne venaient jamais à la maison. Vous pratiquiez un sport? Je faisais de l'équitation tous les mercredis après-midi. J'adorais ça. Jouiez-vous d'un instrument? Oui, je jouais du violon. D'ailleurs, mes parents aussi jouaient du violon. Où passiez-vous vos vacances? Alors, chaque année, mes parents nous emmenaient en Bretagne près de Saint-Malo. Mon oncle avait une maison secondaire là-bas. J'adorais cet endroit. On pouvait aller à la mer tous les jours. Okay, so that brings us to the end of this lesson. I hope you liked it. See, the approach is simple, that you learn the conjugations, you learn about in all what situations you have to use a particular tense, and then you read something as a whole, like a text or a dialogue, to practice it, to see it live in action. I hope you liked this video. J'espère que vous avez aimé cette vidéo, and if you did, please subscribe to my channel. Please leave a comment if you have any doubts. I'll be happy to respond to you. Till then, you take care. Au revoir, bonne journée, ciao ciao.